Let's be real. It's pretty much every homeowner's worst nightmare, right? Water where it absolutely shouldn't be. Whether it's a huge flood or just a slow, sneaky leak, the damage can be just overwhelming. So, what do you actually do when it happens? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to break down the entire step-by-step guide to getting your home back. I want you to just imagine this for a second. You walk in the door after a long day and you hear it, that squish of a completely soaked carpet. Your heart just sinks. You round the corner and there it is, water everywhere. Panic mode kicks in immediately. What's the very first thing you do? Who do you call? That exact moment is what we're going to unpack. And, it's easy to think this is some rare freak accident that'll never happen to you. But look at this list. These are incredibly common things. A pipe bursting when it gets too cold. Your sump pump giving out during a heavy rainstorm. Or, even just a simple toilet overflow. These are all everyday risks that then turn into a major, major headache. So here's the thing. It doesn't really matter how the water got in. The single most critical factor, the one thing that will define this whole experience, is speed. This is not a let's wait and see situation. From the moment you find the water, you are in a race against the clock. And I mean it when I say every single minute counts. And the damage escalates so much faster than you'd think. I mean, within minutes, water starts wicking up your drywall and soaking into the insulation behind it. Within just a few hours, your furniture, your wood floors, they all start to swell and warp. But the real deadline, the one you absolutely cannot miss, is that 24 to 48 hour mark. Because after that, this stops being a water problem and starts becoming a potential health hazard. Let's just lock in on this number, 48 hours. This is everything. See, mold spores are just naturally in the air all the time. But when they find moisture and a food source, like your drywall, they start to grow. And they can start within 2 days. Acting inside this 48-hour window is your single best shot at preventing a much more serious and way more expensive mold problem. So how do the pros actually handle this? It's not just about grabbing a shop vac and a few fans from the garage. Oh no. There is a real science to doing this right, and it's all based on industry standards that make sure your home gets truly and safely dry. The first thing professionals do is figure out what kind of water they're dealing with, because believe it or not all water is the same. It gets broken down into 3 categories. Category 1 is clean water, from a broken supply line. Category 2 is gray water. It's a bit dirty, coming from something like a washing machine. And then there's Category 3, black water. This is the bad stuff, seriously contaminated water from sewage or flooding. Which category you have dictates the entire game plan. A huge part of the professional approach is something called structural drying. Now, this goes way beyond just drying what you can see and touch. It's a scientific process. They use special equipment like moisture meters and thermal cameras to find and eliminate hidden moisture that's trapped inside your walls and under your floors. This is the only way you can be sure you're preventing long-term problems like rot and hidden mold. You're going to hear these 2 terms a lot, so let's clear them up. Mitigation and restoration. Think of mitigation as the emergency first responders. Their job is to stop the bleeding, right? They get the water out and stop things from getting any worse. Restoration is what comes next. That's the full recovery, the rebuilding process that actually brings your home back to the way it was before the disaster. Okay, so the emergency part is over, the initial shock is wearing off. Now, your home's road to recovery can actually begin. And it's not random. It's a very structured 3-phase process that's designed to take your home from a flooded mess back to fully fixed. So what does that journey look like? Well, it all starts with phase 1, extraction. That's getting all of that standing water out as fast as humanly possible. Then comes phase 2, that scientific structural drying we just talked about, with all the dehumidifiers and air movers to get rid of that hidden moisture. And finally, phase 3 is reconstruction. That's where they actually rebuild, replacing drywall, putting in new flooring, doing whatever it takes to make it look like it never even happened. The big question, of course, is how long is this whole thing going to take? Well, the initial extraction is actually pretty quick, usually just a couple of hours. But that critical drying phase, that takes time. It's a carefully monitored process that can take anywhere from 3 to 7 days, and you just can't rush it. After that, the final reconstruction can take a week or 2, sometimes more, depending on how bad the damage was. All right, the immediate danger is over, the drying has started, and then that other feeling starts to creep in, that uh-oh moment when you wonder who is going to pay for all of this. So let's dive into the essentials of dealing with your insurance company. Okay, this is so important to understand. Your standard homeowner's policy is designed to cover things that are sudden and accidental, like a pipe that bursts out of nowhere. What they almost never cover is gradual damage, like from a slow leak you didn't fix for months. And here's the big one. Damage from natural floods or a sewer backup almost always requires a totally separate policy or a special add-on. You really have to know what your policy says. But here's some good news in this whole mess. You are not in this alone. Most professional restoration companies are absolute pros at dealing with insurance claims. They know exactly what documentation is needed, they speak the same language as the adjusters, and a lot of the time, they can bill the insurance company directly. It takes a huge weight off your shoulders. So let's picture it. The crews have finally left, the reconstruction is done, and your home is back to normal. You're safe, you're dry, and it's a massive relief. The whole ordeal is over. But a new chapter begins. One builds on everything you just went through. And the final question isn't about recovery anymore. It's about prevention. How do you make sure you never, ever have to go through this again?